What's up everybody, Justin Watch Movies here. Today we're going to be talking about Dumbo, the new Disney live-action remake that is based off of the 1941 animated classic Dumbo. This is directed by Tim Burton, his 19th film to date. This isn't his first time taking a Disney classic and remaking it as well. We're going to talk about all the things about Dumbo and what I thought about the film, so leave your thoughts down below on Dumbo. What do you think of this new Disney live-action animated movie? For me, I think Dumbo was an okay film. It's nothing spectacular. The visuals are good when it wants to be, but overall, I just thought this movie was okay. One of my biggest issues with this movie is the fact that the focus on Dumbo isn't there. There's so many actors in this movie, from Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton, and Colin Farrell. There's so many big stars in here that they honestly take the spotlight in this movie, and the movie does not focus on Dumbo. Dumbo is the title character, the one that they are trying to remake the movie about. And you have all these other characters, from someone that has returned from the war, 2 kids, a person who's running a circus, a person who's running this like adventure park. There's so many different characters, and when we are focusing on them, they're not that very entertaining. They're not interesting characters. They're characters that you really don't know much about, characters that you don't want to spend time with. They're just there and they're not very interesting. But when we do get Dumbo, those moments are very cinematic. The score matches the moments with Dumbo flying around, and there's a sense of awe going throughout those scenes. So the scenes with Dumbo really do shine, and it's an adorable character to look at. I think the character design for Dumbo works really well, and I really wanted to see more of Dumbo. I wanted to see all the fun moments that we could have in the movie like this, because the movie, the one that they're remaking it, the 1941 classic, all those moments with Dumbo are really sweet. And here they work well, but we just don't get them enough, and you really don't feel like Dumbo is the main character of this film. You feel like you're centered on these 2 young kids and their father more than Dumbo. There were certain scenes from the Disney classic that I was curious about how they were going to translate onto this movie, and I think Tim Burton was the right pick for certain scenes in this movie. Not going to spoil any certain scenes, but I like how they translated into this movie. They utilized a lot from the animated classic, like the opening sequence with the Casey Jr. train and the song as well, which did put a smile on my face. But they took a very short Disney film and pretty much like doubled the length of the movie and added so much into the movie, and they also forgot a lot from the animated classic. Now, I know they're trying to make its own film and they're trying to make it stand on its own, but at the same time, I think that they should have tributed certain scenes to that movie and had certain characters and certain things in the movie, while also adding new elements as well. So having that nice balance would have been nice to see, but they added a little too much that was not from the classic, and just wasn't very interesting to me. The acting's fine in here. I think that the visuals are some of the best things in this movie. Dumbo's cute, he's cuddly. Everything I could imagine Dumbo would be in a live action film looks great. The score is a typical Tim Burton score, that kind of almost haunting feeling at times. When you hear it, you know it's a Tim Burton movie. The movie for Tim Burton is very tame compared to his style. Whereas like Edward Scissorhands and Batman and Beetlejuice, they're very much Tim Burton. This movie doesn't feel like Tim Burton at times. At times it just feels like a normal director, and at times it does have the touch of Tim Burton in this movie. He likes taking movies about characters that are wacky and have some kind of different trait with them, and people really don't understand them very well, and then they have a chance to shine. Kind of like Edward Scissorhands, Miss Peregrine, Frankenweenie. Those are movies that center around characters that have these different quirks for them, and people really don't understand them, but then we get to know them and they're really nice. So for that, I do think that this was a good pick for Tim Burton. story-wise. Overall, I think Dumbo was fine. It's nothing spectacular. I'm going to forget it. It's one of Tim Burton's weakest films. It does look great, and I do like seeing Dumbo, but the focus does not lie on Dumbo. It lies on these other characters, like Danny DeVito trying to sell elephants, and these two kids, and Michael Keaton running Dreamland. And I don't find their characters to be interesting, and I don't want to know much about them. I just want to see Dumbo, and we do get to see him. I think it's very sweet, very fun, but it's few and far between. I'm going to go ahead and give Dumbo a C. Stay tuned this weekend for my ranking of all 19 Tim Burton films. You guys can check out my most recent video right over here. My name is Justin Watches Movies. Make sure to subscribe to my channel down below, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.